Ying nerf probably, I would assume. So they're changing the percentage from decreases incoming damage by 50% to 30% if the enemy's attack power is lower than you. Okay, so Ying is just still does the same thing. Still gonna be a pretty good counter pick into CC. He just is gonna take a bit more damage, but it's still like a 30% damage reduction passive is pretty insane. So yeah, solid nerf there. Water Valk Camilla. Effect removed the 20% damage reduction. Excuse me, the 20% damage reduction effect against non-critical. Oh my god, I can't talk. Non-critical hits is removed. Okay, yeah, I agree. I don't know why she had this in the first place. Right, because like the way to counter Camilla was to just build stuff on like a galleon, for example, on no crit rate but high attack. But then they just add this passive in for some reason. It's like, yeah, you didn't need to give her that. So that's probably more, this is more for like arena and siege, I guess. So yeah, this is whatever for RTA, I would say. Sonia, oh my god, finally. Percentage change. The damage dealt increases by up to 100% to 50%. The chance of receiving a glancing hit increases by twice. 50% cap is maintained. I'm not sure what this part means, but like she just lost 50% extra damage. That's gonna be pretty insane, I would say. Yeah, like if you try, I would say if you try to snipe out another swift unit, you don't actually kill that anymore. Like Sonia might just be used into bruisers now, especially when everything's like minus wind. You're probably not going to kill swift units. That would be my guess. So that's actually seems like a pretty big hit to Sonia. I'm not sure about this glancing hit passive though. It says it increases by twice. So does that mean she has like more chances to glance? I'm not sure. Or glance against her. So I'm a little confused on that one. But yeah, seems like a big nerf to Sonia. Okay, all twin angels, they're hitting the skill 1. I can already tell. Yep, attack bars on the skill 1 from 15 to 10%. That's what everybody was suggesting. I think that's a pretty good nerf. Sucks for me because I have light twins, but you know, I'm not really using them that much. So yeah, this is a great change. Like water twin, all the twins have probably like the best skill 1 in the game. Being able to attack bar boost on skill 1 is so good, especially on like water twins, because if you reset them or something, they can still bar boost. Like you have to push them back or stun them. So I guess now you have to make stuff faster to speed tune it to the 10% bar boost now. So we'll see how that goes. And Horn of Protection, they are nerfing the healing from 15 to 10%. This is what I would have probably nerfed as well if I was going to hit the water twins. Like they just do everything way too, or maybe not too well, but like it does everything, like strip, armor break, stun, push up, and then it also has the healing. Like you have to take something away from this unit. So I actually wanted them to just remove the healing altogether, but you know, removing 5% is I guess a decent start. Wind Twin Angels, so decreases the attack speed of all enemies for 2 turns. Oh man, I hate when they do these kind of nerfs. They're just reducing the activation rate on it. So, I mean, I guess it's okay because the strip should still be 100%. So, it's kind of more like the skill 2. I think we're I believe Scattershot's like a 60% chance stun. But they're just making units less consistent, which I feel like is not a great way to nerf stuff, because it just becomes really frustrating to play with, you know. But this unit is still really good. It's the only unit that can, I believe, strip and put up immunity at the same time, and it still has the 2-turn speed buff, which is really good too. So this it's a whatever nerf. I don't like this. Personally, I think they should have just, instead of a 2-turn attack speed slowed, make it a 1 turn or something instead of this. Dark Twins, they're not nerfing Dark Twins, right? They're buffing it, surely. Yes, it's going to 75% chance on the armor break. So now it is I believe it's 2 hits x 75%. So pretty good armor break for Dark Twins. And I mean, no buffs to Light Twins because Light Twins is already insane. Makes sense. Oh my god, Water Dark Spectre Princess. Effect removed. The skill cooldown reduction effect for Arsenal of Sacrifice when the arsenal is full is removed. Okay, so she doesn't just get -1 cool time when she's using it at max. So I think that's fine. That kind of sucks for the water one because the water one obviously didn't like turn cycle like crazy. The dark one, however, like that's a pretty significant nerf. So because now you have an extra turn to deal with her. Right, because when you're playing against Velasca, she just snowballs so fast back into the skill too that it can be kind of a bit oppressive. So that's I like that nerf. Hopefully they're giving something to the water one. Okay, Fire Wind. No, they're not. Fire Wind Light Spectre Princess, which I believe is that the skill 2? It must be. So this is the one I believe that would like strip and then stun, and then that unit couldn't be revived. So they're changing that skill to removes all beneficial effects granted on the selected enemy target, and then attacks all enemies with an attack that deals more damage according to your max HP to stun them for 1 turn with a 50% chance. Enemies defeated by this attack and enemies already defeated when this attack is used cannot be revived during battle. So enemies... I'm confused as to what they actually changed. So so it's still strip stun up here. And it seemed like... Oh, you know what? Maybe they're just making it so when you use the skill 2, any unit already dead cannot be revived. I think that's what they're doing, which is that's gonna be pretty good as another like anti-revive unit, I suppose. I'm trying to think where I'd use this in RTA. Like the wind one is very damage reduction heavy, and then also having a anti-revive mechanic, maybe into bruisers. I know a lot of bruiser players like to run Nana, you know, like Nana, Dark Demon sort of comps, I guess. So interesting. We'll see how that works out. Dark Bayek. Oh boy. They're changing the passive. This is the guy that would like his bird would like hit a random unit and stun it or something, which is just not good. So they're changing it to increases your attack bar by 20% if the target the Eagle Blade disc attacked is stunned. 2B increases your attack by 20% after you attack on. Okay, so they just gave him bargain, which is like kind of a boring buff, but okay. I think the main complaint was just the RNG component of this passive effect that people didn't like, so they didn't really address that. They're just giving him bargain. I don't know how much that does for him. Probably not a lot. Let's see here. All the Yennifers. Crow Dive, which I believe is the skill 1, which silences. Now they're adding a blocks the target from removing harmful effects for 1 turn with a 30% chance. Probably goes up to 50% chance. So it's gonna be a silence and a block. It's a Juno counter. Okay, it's more of a Juno counter. Sure. Wind and Dark, which has the magic barrier, which I believe was like shield immunity, if I'm not mistaken, but that is getting a cool time buff, so from 5 to 4, pretty good. Fire Hacker, what are they doing here? Passive, percentage changed. When an enemy gains a turn, its HP is reduced by 3%. They're buffing it to 4%, so this thing is just gonna shred you a bit more. Pretty good, I guess. You know, the Tomo players will be happy with that. Not sure I have too much to say about it. I think, like, fine, if you want to buff Fire Hacker, I don't have too much of a problem with that. Yeah, it seems like they're trying to support the Tomo Layla players here with these buffs up here. Dark Geralt. Okay, so this is the guy that, like, he gets damage based on how many buffs he has, and he has the, like, bomb skill 2 hit attack or something like that, right? So right now it's increases this is the passive, so increases the damage dealt by 40% up to 200 for each beneficial beneficial effect granted on yourself, and they are changing that to increases your attack bar by 100% up to 300% for each beneficial effect granted on yourself. Seems pretty good. Now I do recall there was a Reddit post about this where somebody was claiming that you shouldn't use Dark Geralt as a bomber. You shouldn't think of him that way. You should think of him as a cleaver that just has bombs, because apparently the skill 2 multiplier is pretty insane. So maybe with this buff, you know, people will start trying him out like that. I'll take one. I don't know where I'd use one, but you know, there could be some fun Shizuka cleave nonsense you could do with this thing. But yeah, I think that's could be a good buff. We'll see how that pans out. Wind and Dark Geralt, this is the bomb, so this is the skill 2 Dancing Star of Explosion. Percentage change, the second attack stuns all enemies, 30 to 50% chance. Okay, so it's giving a little bit more activation rate, which is always good to see. Oh god, Dark Demon, are they gonna do it where he just gets a turn? Oh my god, resets the cooltime of Madness of Judgment when revived by this effect. They did what I think, was it Sei Shizo who wanted this? So now you can just use the skill 2 for free, and then if you kill him and he revives, he just gets to pop this off. Or it will be it'll be available, but he still dies to, like, Vioprox. So they didn't give him the instant turn, they just gave him the reset, so I think that's fair. Yeah, really good buff for Dark Demon. I'm sure Dark Demon owners will be very happy about that one. Man, I don't see, where are my LDs? Where's the Han Wool? Hopefully it's down here somewhere. Let's see, Dark Monkey, even Dark Monkey's getting a buff. Like, this thing did not need a buff. Blocks all enemies from removing harmful effects for 1 turn. Okay, so another Juno counter. It's crazy. Okay, like, sure, whatever. Water Polar Queen, damage is increased by 12.5% on the Frost Rush is the skill 3, so more cleave support, more damage there. Sure. The Inosuke's are probably getting buffed as well. Fire, Wind, and Dark. Devour, which is the skill 2. I believe that's the skill 2 damage based on current HP that silences everybody. So as is, attacks all enemies to grant silence for 2 turns with a 50% chance. And that is, they're changing it to Provoke, which probably makes more sense. I believe the skill 1 is a stun though. So I'm trying to think. The Dark one is kind of weird. That's the one that just gives himself stats, and it can't be, I think it couldn't be pushbacked or something. And so now they're giving it a provoke. I don't know. The wind one, yeah, I'll have to look at these ones, but like, I don't immediately think that will do too much for him. Maybe the fire one, because you could, that one's like a fire chow basically, and now it has AoE provoke. Maybe that could be good. All right, Windrakon, Dragon Bombardment. I believe that's the skill 3 strip, so it's getting more. This might be kind of broken now. 30% decreases the HP of enemies with beneficial effects removed by 20% to 30%. That's like, so he just strips and then does 30%. That actually seems pretty good, because like you just build him full tank, right? And he's gonna do some chip damage. Like, this could be good with Zerath, I think, because he also has an HP lead. So yeah, decent change there. Fire and Dark Drakon Warrior, Furious Charge. Furious Charge, is that the that must be the skill too, right? Which let me check real quick. What does that do? Fire Dracon Warrior. Really quick, it does. So attacks the enemies 2 times to deal damage that ignores all damage reduction effects, and it recovers your HP by 30% of the damage dealt. So they're just giving it more. He's gonna heal more. Okay, sure. I guess that means the fire one will just cycle more, right? Because he gets bar based on how much he heals or something. I think for the dark one, that's like nothing. That probably doesn't really help him at all. Unfortunately. Dark Beetle Guardian. We have the Horn of the Ancient Beetle. This is another of those weird like AoE brand damage, right? It was just kind of useless, it seemed. So they're changing the percentage. So attacks all enemies 2 times to increase their cool time by 1 turn. Going up to 100% chance. That's always nice. Wait, wasn't this the light in Nosuke? No, I guess it did a cool time reset too. I've never even seen one in RTA, to be honest. The skill up effects are changed as follows. So damage gets nerfed 20 to 15. What? And then harmful effect rate goes to okay, I see what they did. So they're just removing the harmful activation rate. They're taking that away. So he actually just gets a damage bonus in the skill ups. Okay, sure. Fire Beetle Guardian, Titius, grants endure for 1 turn on the ally, including yourself, that takes fatal damage from an attack that ignores defense. I never even saw this in RTA. So I guess people would probably rather just pick a Nana or something, because I never saw one. Like no bruiser player was using this. So it's getting changed to grants endure on all allies for 1 turn if an ally takes fatal damage from an attack that ignores. Okay, all allies get it. Okay, that's a bit more interesting, I would say. So if everybody, it's just gonna be like full protection. Like that follow-up, if there's a follow-up unit, it's not going to be able to kill anything. So that's actually pretty good. Right, like maybe there's like those Adriana, Sonia, X sniper comps. This is gonna be hard countering that now, I think. So good change probably, because I never saw one. Okay, Beetle Guardian, Firewind Light, Majestic Tide. This was the heal. Again, what did these do? Let me try and find it. So this Fire, Wind, and Light. Let's see. Majestic Tide. So recovers your HP by 20% and attacks all enemies to deal damage proportionate to your defense and provokes them. Oh, okay. So this was like heal into AoE provoke. And they're changing that to recovers your HP and the HP of the ally with the lowest HP by 20%. Okay, good. So it's healing himself and another unit. So decent. Wind Cassandra. Wrath of Ares. I think that's a skill 3, right? Increases the chance of landing a glancing hit for 2 turns. Is going to be changed to increases the damage dealt by 30% if the enemy's attack power is lower than yours. Okay, so that could be just like a 30% damage bonus. Maybe you start building this thing on like, speed crit damage attack. Because it does have pushback that can't glance, I believe. And then you have the follow-up and do a skill 2. Could be good. Yeah, might be worth trying that out. We'll have to see what the multipliers are on skill 3 though. All right, the unicorns, what are they doing here? Water Unicorn. They're nerfing it, so 10. Oh no, they're buffing it. They're buffing the water one, which, okay, sure, that's not really used in RTA anymore. It's more for siege. 5% more healing, sure. Water Light Fierce Charge. Okay, so they're buffing the activation rate to 100%. I actually like that. Again, like the RNG of just you don't know if it's gonna land or not was pretty BS. So I actually do like this change. I don't think we need to be buffing Light Unicorn though. They're probably nerfing it somewhere down here, I would assume. Wait, they're not. Okay, Firewind Dark Unicorn, this Nature's Protection, which is the shield. They are changing it to creates a shield equal to 30% of your max HP on all allies. Wait, what the heck? Whoa, what? I actually never knew this. Wait, apparently the skill 2 from the ponies gave yourself 30% of your max HP and then only 20% on your allies. I never knew that. So now it's just 30% on all allies. Okay. I mean, I'll take a Alex buff, sure. Wind Unicorn, what are you doing here? So they are changing the dot when you remove a beneficial effect to 50. So you just get 50% to land a dot regardless. Oh my god. So that's just like a damage buff on Diana. Okay, sure. I don't mind. Like, you don't really build Diana with AC anyway, so she's just gonna, you know, shred the carries a bit more. That's fine, I guess. Oh my god, this is a huge balance patch, finally. Seems pretty good so far. Wind Paladin. We have Justice Strike. They're changing it to... It's gonna Death Break for 2 turns with a 25% chance, which probably goes up a bit more. So that's like a siege buff for defense, I would say. And now it can armor break, which is, yeah, that's a pretty good skill too. I believe it's HP scaling as well, right? Dark Occult Girl, damage increased by 20%. Hey, we might see some Nikki Cleaves coming back, because that probably makes up for the multi-hit damage nerf. So yeah, that's happy for Nikki owners. Girl's Prayer, which is the skill 2. The recovery amount is increased by 30% for all allies with harmful effects removed. Okay, so if you have any debuffs and she cleanses, it's gonna heal like to full HP probably. So, man, there's no Charlotte buff. I haven't seen a single LD for me, man. Like, it's always like Obabo, Seishizo owners. Those guys always get the good stuff. What else? Cannon Girl. Core Revenge. When fully accumulated, removes all harmful effects, excluding inability effects at the start of your turn. But didn't she... what? When fully accumulated... Didn't she already do this when she took a turn? I'm not sure what this changed, because I'm pretty sure they did something similar like several patches ago where she, yeah, like removes any debuffs except stuns at the start of her turn or something. So I don't really understand what happened here. When fully accumulated? Yeah, I thought she did that already. Okay, well, whatever. Water Hell Lady. Eternal Scar. Well, so they're changing it to each hit decreases the defense for 2 turns and blocks harmful effect removal for 2 turns. Okay, so it's like both hits, armor break, and block. That's really good. That's just way more consistent now, I'd say. Again, how do you not buff Asima? Oh my god, man. Dodging everything. Hell Lady, Soul Crusher. Grants Endure on yourself for 2 turns if the target is defeated. Okay, so I think she always buffed Endure for 1 turn, so I guess if you kill the unit, now she gets 2. So, sure. Man. Beast Rider. Dismounted Beast Riders on all of them. Effect chain decreases. Changes to increases your attack speed by 15% when you dismount the beast. Okay, so that's just a pure damage buff. for Beast Riders. They've been slowly kind of buffing those back up. I guess they want them back in RTA. So we'll see how that goes. Fire. Okay, I actually use this one. For my bruiser teams. So for RTA, Hollyberry Shield. Percentage change. Increases the defense of all allies for 1 turn to 2 turns. Okay, sure. I'll take it. That's something at least. Light Joker, Camouflage. Installs a bomb that detonates after 2 turns with a 35% chance, goes to 50% chance. Okay, sure. So he's just gonna maybe land more bombs. Sure. That's like probably like a siege defense buff. Water Neostone Fighter. Effect changed. Attacks the enemy 3 times to grant continuous damage for 1 turn. Is changing to disturb HP recovery for 2 turns. And he gets a damage buff. Water Neostone. Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember using Water Neostone for siege offense. I can't recall, because we did use the I think it was the wind one we used a lot when I was in Mithril. I don't remember the water one at all though, so I'm not sure. Maybe that helps. Fire Neostone. So the passive initially is decreases damage taken by 20% if you are under harmful effects. 2B, counterattacks with Relentless Strike when your HP falls to 30% or below. Ooh, that's actually interesting. So there's a built-in counterattack on the skill 2. And the skill 2, I believe, is a crit rate. I'll have to look. Let's look at Fire Neostone. Trevor, right? Yeah, Trevor. So Relentless Strike increases the critical rate for 2 turns. And instantly attacks with a powerful strike. In addition, recovers your HP by 30% of the inflicted damage, and it can't glance. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So if your HP falls to 30% or below, that's cutting it kind of close. And I mean, again, he doesn't have the damage reduction passive anymore, so yeah, interesting though. That's definitely more for siege though. Wind Neostone, push through. Attacks the enemy 2 times to decrease its attack bar by 50% to 75. Sure, whatever. Dark 1 increases damage by 7%. Sure. Water Death Knight. They're increasing recovery on all allies from 2 to 3 turns. Sure, whatever. Fire. Okay, wait. Light. Deadly Wave getting buffed. Recovers the HP of all allies, of 2 allies, with the lowest HP ratio by 10 to 15% of your max HP. Okay, cool. Yeah, the skill 2 for Conrad like healed like nothing. So this is a pretty, and the thing is he has like terrible base stats too. It's like insane how bad his base stats are, which makes him kind of sad for RTA, but yeah, we'll take a little buff on the skill 2. Water Rakshasa. Don't really care about this. Guaranteed you stun the enemy if the enemy is granted with a harmful effect. If the attack lands as a crit. Okay, so you build her on crit now, and she stuns. Fire Rakshasa attacks again with 100%. Wait, she just automatically attacks again if you hit a wind monster. That's actually kind of cool. That's interesting, but again, I think like just like a siege offense buff. Or maybe it could be siege defense too. Like, right, people are gonna pick wind units. You build like a really big damage Hua on plus wind damage, and you just maybe shred something. And then Dark Rakshasa attacks enemy 4 times to decrease the attack bar by 30% to absorb bar by 25. Okay, so now it's actually a budget Han because it absorbs the bar. Yeah, it probably won't take a full turn though, because I believe Han is attack bar gain. Right, he doesn't care if there's bar or not. So yeah, but yeah, budget Han for those of you who want one. And a skill error for Fire Beetle Guardian. Okay, so that's the patch. We don't get any base speed changes or leader skills or anything like that. I will say, I will give them the credit for buffing and nerfing quite a bit of things this time. But again, no Oliver change it. I mean, they hit the Wind Twins. I mean, they hit all the twins. They hit Velasca. Ming, I guess, was a problem for people. I didn't really care too much about Ming, to be honest, but I understand it was like a super high win rate unit when it was buffed. Valk nerf, good for arena defense, I suppose. And the Sonia, yeah, like, okay, I will give them the credit. Like, Ming, Sonia, Twin Angels, Velasca, nerfs, all very good, very good. If they put Oliver on here for like one little nerf, would have been a pretty good patch. I'd say overall, this is a very good patch compared to what we've been getting in the past, I don't know, year. Actually making meta-defining changes, right? So pretty good. My initial thoughts, I will say I'm a bit sad though, because there's no, like, I don't think any LD I have really got something significant, which is a bit bummer, because I don't think I've gotten a significant LD buff for any of my units, probably since like the Jara buff. I use Jara like into every bruiser team, so that was a bit sad. I guess the Alexandra did get buffed with a shield on skill 2, but that's kind of whatever. Yeah, Asima, if they had an Asima skill 3, you know, consistency buff, so that she actually takes a turn when she skill 3s and into 4 units with no immunity, that would have been nice. But yeah, overall, pretty good patch. I'm gonna be happy with this. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And again, I'll see you soon. Should be streaming, new season. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. See ya.